Good day, everybody, and welcome to another segment of Mastering Presentations, Microsoft PowerPoint. This is the fourth video in this series, so we're moving on quite well. Now, as usual, let's recap what we learned in the last class. We had looked at how to create a PowerPoint presentation. We looked at opening an existing presentation. So if you have a file already saved on your computer, we looked at how you can open that. We looked at how we can save a presentation. We also looked at having a presentation, how we can add slides to those presentations, how to insert pictures that were on our computer, that means from our files. And we also looked at how to insert pictures from clip art. Now I gave you an activity to do on Thursday where you had to create a presentation that was based on a template. So we want to go over that just to make sure you're on the right track. Remember, each week you need to be doing these activities to ensure that you're progressing well with how to make these presentations. Now the steps are after that you open a PowerPoint, then on the new presentation task pane, we wanted to select a template from the list. Now, depending on what version of PowerPoint you are using, this may differ a little bit for you. Then you were to click create, and on the title slide, write the name of the culture found in Belize. You could have chosen any culture. And then on slide 2, all I wanted you to do was insert a picture that reflected the culture that you had selected. When you were done doing that, I wanted you to save the presentation as DTV underscore version underscore 1. So let's get into doing that. You were supposed to create a new PowerPoint. So from here, I can click on File, New, and then it said to choose a presentation template. No, you could have looked if you had any recent templates, you could have chosen one from here. The one that I chose for this presentation was an abstract design that looked something cultural, right? And then from this point, it said to add the name of the culture on the title slide. So here I'm going to be using the Creole culture. Let's use Mestizo. I think I downloaded a picture of the Mestizo culture. So on the first slide, I have the culture that I chose. And then I'm going to move on and add a new slide. And on the new slide, I want to add an image. Now, I had an image already saved on my computer. So I'm going to go to Insert, Picture, and then it will load up. I have my picture here of a mestizo woman, and I'm going to insert that picture into my presentation. From here, all you need to do then was save your presentation. You click on File, you want to save as, and the instruction asks for us to name this DTV underscore, why am I not pressing the right keys? Underscore version underscore 1, and then you should save this, and this is all I asked you to do. Now some persons went ahead and sent me a message, no problem with that, but I want to see your presentations at the end of these weeks of making the presentations. Right now we're going step by step, so I will ask you to see those presentations at the end when I do require for you to submit them. All right. So I'm going to close this off. So that's a brief review of what we had done in the last class. I'm going to be splitting my screen because, as usual, I want to show you guys some things that we're working on along with how we actually get the activity done. Right? Now let me get this slideshow into reading view so I can have both of them open at the same time. And we want to look at our new topic for today, which will be looking at a bit of formatting within PowerPoint. We want to look at how we can format pictures, for instance, that we have inserted. Now I've made a practice presentation that I'm going to be using to explain some of the things that we're going to be learning. Now it says to format pictures, we can do several things. One, we can resize the image that we have placed into our presentation. How do we do this? First, you click on the picture to surround the image with a blue box. So I'm going to be on the first slide that I have here, the second slide I should say after my title. And I have an image there. And for me to be able to select the image and see the blue box, I must click on the image. All right. Once you have your image selected, you're going to see these points around the corners, and notice that you're able to make your image larger by dragging out, or you can make it smaller by dragging in. All right. Now we did this a bit in Microsoft Word, so it's just a bit of review. Now we also want to look at different formatting that you can do for your images because you want your images to stand out during your presentation. Now notice when I'm clicking on an image, I then see the format tab. If I'm not on the image, I don't see the format tab. Alright, so now I'm on the image or I'm on some type of display, a text box or so. I will see format and I can see different designs that I can do. I can look at quick styles that I want to add. Maybe I want to add a box around my image. I may want to add a circle. Alright, depending on the image style that you have. Alright. So again, those are some of the things that you can do on Microsoft PowerPoint. Now, some of the more advanced versions, such as the Microsoft PowerPoint 365, it comes with a design tab that allows you to go way beyond what you can do than using a basic PowerPoint presentation. But that's just some things that you can do to enhance your presentation by enhancing the way your images they look. Now, aside from looking at formatting your pictures, we also want to look at formatting the font that is within your presentation. Now, remember your font is the text that you're using in your presentation. And for you to do this is similar to working in Microsoft Word. You go on the Home tab. Then you're going to select the font that you want to make changes to. And you can change, for example, the font size. You can change the font style. You can add, for example, make it bold, make it italicized. All right, and all of that is found in the font group. So let's try that. I'm looking at the title here that says Microsoft PowerPoint. I'm selecting my title, and from there I'm going to be clicking. Let's say I want to change the font. Just selecting anyone here, Arsena. And then I can change the font size as well. Alright, now you want to be careful here that you're not choosing font styles that are hard to read, or you're not making your font too large that it's overwhelming, or too small that it cannot be seen. Alright, now you can make it bold, you can change it to italicized, and I like this tool that adds a shadow behind the words to make it stand out a little bit more than regular text. Now, aside from looking at formatting font, we want to look at how we can insert a header and footer into our presentation. Now, your header and footer would be found in the Insert tab, so let's go there. And when you go to the Insert tab and you click on the header and footer tool, you're going to see, for example, this dialog box. And this dialog box allows you to add different components to your presentation. Now notice the first tab tells you what you can add to the slide, and the second one tells you what you can add to, for example, the notes on your handout that you will be printing. So be careful. If you want it to appear in the slide, you're going to be clicking on the tab that says slide, whereas if you want it to appear on your handout, you can click on the tab that says handout. Now, for instance, in the footer, I may want to say that this was created by myself. So created by, and I would insert my name there. All right, and I can also have it show the date or time and have it update automatically. So if I'm making this presentation today, but I have editing going along for another 2 weeks, it will automatically update for each time I open and use the software. All right. Now I'm going to apply this to all slides that I have in my document. And if you notice there at the bottom, you would see the created by appear at the bottom of the slide as a watermark looking image to show that it is in the footer area of my document. All right. So that's how we insert a header and footer. Now, another aspect that we want to look at is how to insert tables. And again, this is similar to inserting tables in Microsoft Word. Again, tables would be found on the Insert tab. And it says you go to the Insert ribbon and then select your table. Move the mouse over the table illustration to select the size of the table you would like to use. Or you can also click on Insert Table to be able to insert the number of columns and rows that you would want in your table. For instance, here I may want to create a table showing how many males versus how many females are literate in using Microsoft Word versus those that are literate in using Microsoft PowerPoint. So to do that, I would click on table, and then I would need a column for the word PowerPoint, one for male, one for female, and then I would need the information there. So I'm going to be using a 3x3 table. All right, here I would have Microsoft Word. In the other column, I would have Microsoft PowerPoint. And then I can have here how many males versus how many females. And then I can see here in Microsoft Word, maybe out of the group, 5 were able to use Microsoft Word, and then another 5 were able to use Microsoft PowerPoint here. Here I have maybe 7 females using Microsoft Word and maybe 3 using Microsoft PowerPoint. So notice I was able to insert a table. Now, aside from inserting the table, remember you also want to change the design of your table if that's something that you're looking to do. And then once you're on your table, you would have the design and your layout table or your layout tab available. On the design tab, I may want to change the color, and there's so many different designs that you can choose from to make your presentation stand out a bit more. I may want something that's purple if that's what I like. Alright, so I can insert that into my document and make some modifications. I can also select the table that I have here and go back to the home tab and change the font style that I'm using. Maybe I want it to be Times New Roman and I want the font size to be a little bit bigger. Alright, so again, those are some things that you can do when working in Microsoft PowerPoint. Aside from inserting tables, you may also want to insert charts. And when you're working with charts, notice that this will also have you working with Microsoft Excel to be able to insert the data. For instance, if I want a chart based on this table that I have here, I'll click on Insert, and I'm clicking on Charts. I select the type of chart that I want, and then it will load your Excel sheet. All right. You can then edit the information that you have here. For example, I may have male, female, and I don't need this particular column, so I'm going to select it and I'm going to delete that. And then here I can have Microsoft Word, and here I can have Microsoft, I'm going to abbreviate PowerPoint as PPT. And then I will delete the unnecessary rows that I don't need, and here I'm going to fill in the information that I had from my table, 7, and I believe that was 3. Alright, and then once I close that off, notice that that table is automatically inserted for me, and I can again adjust it on my screen, making it fit into the space that I need it. Alright, so that again is how you insert your table and also how you insert a chart. Now we also want to look at how we can add a slide theme from our gallery. Now notice earlier I had you use a theme that was inserted at the beginning of making your PowerPoint, but notice you have a design tab that if you change your mind from the theme that you were using, you can always go back and select a different theme. For instance, I may want something that looks like this for my particular document, and notice the theme is applied throughout your document. So each page would use that particular theme. Now, one thing you want to be careful of when you're choosing these themes, however, is your background that you're going to be presenting on. You don't want to use a dark theme and you're presenting on a bright background because it may not come off too well. I usually prefer themes with milder colors so that they show up better on my presentation, on my PowerPoint that I'll be presenting. So that is how you add a design. Theme, sorry. And let's look at how we can add speaker notes. Now, this was discussed previously in the theory section of Microsoft PowerPoint. I believe that was in video number 1. And remember, the speaker notes is to help the speaker. Now it says you can add speaker notes to refer to later while delivering your presentation in front of your audience, because again, you might not remember everything. So what you can do is have the speaker notes, and notice the speaker notes will be typed in just below the slide, so that while you're presenting, the speaker notes will be visible on your monitor, but they won't be able to be seen by the audience. So you'll have the points that you need to remember, however your audience won't be able to see those notes. For instance, let's say I want to remember to make a note here. I would click in the note section. Remember to emphasize the ease of using these programs. Now, that's not necessarily something I want my audience to see, but it's something I want to remember to see. So I'm placing it in the notes section to allow me to remember it while I'm presenting. No, like I said again in that first video, the Slide Master is one of my favorite tools. All right, the Slide Master allows you to change the overall theme in terms of fonts that you're going to be using to make your presentation look uniform. All right. So it says here on the slide that I have here that when you want all your slides to contain the same fonts and images such as logos, you can make those changes in one place that's called the Slide Master, and they will be applied throughout your slides. To open the Slide Master view, we go to the View tab and then click on Slide Master. So let's try that. I'm going to click on View, and then I'm going to click on Slide Master. Now notice it will take you into the different layouts that you can have in your document, and from here I will be able to click on the particular area that I want. I can go back to the Home tab and I can change, for example, the font. Maybe I want this in this particular style, but I want it in a smaller font size. All right, here I may want that these styles may be in Times New Roman, but I want them to be a bit larger. So again, I can change the size for those there. All right. So that's something that you would do in the Slide Master. When you're done editing your Slide Master, you can go back to where it says Slide Master and close Master View, and notice whatever changes I made to that particular slide design would have been applied. All right. Now, what did we learn today? We looked at, for instance, how to format pictures, how to format font, how to insert a header and footer into your document, how to insert tables, how to insert charts, how to add a slide theme from gallery, how to create speaker notes, how to format the Slide Master. Now again, these things will come with practice, so I need that you guys are practicing to use these tools. If you have a computer, practice on your computer, practice on your phone, practice on your tablet. I have uploaded videos that allow you to that have tutorials for Android and Apple users, so please make sure you check those out. Now, it was a pleasure being with you today. I hope that you were able to learn something. Please be back on Thursday for a review activity and also for a short quiz. Thank you guys for your attention.